Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You will please take your seats. Madam Mary Mungai, Chairperson, Communications Authority of Kenya. Honorable James Ongwae, Chairman, Universal Service Advisory Council, and the former Governor, Great County of Kisii. Charles Juma, Country Lead and Advisor, Digital Access Program of the British High Commission. Mr. David Mugonye, Director General and CEO, Communications Authority of Kenya. Captains of Industry present. I recognize the presence of Madam Agnes Kaleche, Managing Director, KBC, CEO, Airtel Kenya, Mr. Ashish Malhotra, and also representation from Safaricom, JTL, media houses present, the members of the Fourth Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning to you all. Quite a cold start in Nairobi, but thank you all for joining us here and being warm. Today we're actually celebrating the launch of the Universal Service Fund strategy for 2023 and 2027, brought to you as well by USF and CA. We apologize for the rather slow start, but you can imagine with the rains, this was unexpected. So at this point in time, allow me to just give you a quick overview of the program. We will be short and sweet. We'll have a good understanding of the strategy, why we are here. That will be presented by Engineer Leo Buruet, who's the Director, Universal Service Fund, and also have remarks from the dignitaries that I mentioned. So first of all, just give yourselves a round of applause for making it here, and thank you so much for joining us. So without further ado, I think the understanding is really to get into the deep dive, really understand the core and the meat of the strategy we're launching. So without further ado, please help me welcome Engineer Leo Buruet, Director, Universal Service Fund from CA Kenya. He will have a presentation, so I'm going to ask you to please get a vantage view of the screens that are in front of you. So please give a round of applause to Engineer as he takes us through.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, MC. All protocols observed. My role here is to take us through the USF strategy. This is a strategy that's already available in our website. It's been available for the last, I think, over 1 month. The other thing is, this is actually expounding on the strategy, USF strategy, no, Communication Authority strategic plan, which was already launched. So, and that also is available in our website. So for details, everything actually is in the website. Just to before we go into the strategy, we just want to see how we have performed in the past. In the past strategy period, we used to assess the 2G coverage, and we are able to improve from 94.4 to 96.6%. And that's really a population of 900,000. That's quite something. In terms of broadband access, we were able to increase to 18.3, and that translates to about 2.5 million. I suppose actually 7.5 million. Then in terms of broadcasting, this was not directly related to USF, but in the new strategy we are tracking the DTT rollout because we are expanding the USF to cover the other sectors. So for that last strategy period, we were able to increase by 6.1%, and that's actually the 2.5 million. For broadband access, it's 7.5 million. So that's the background. So from that background, we have targets for this strategy. And for broadband coverage, you realize now we are not talking anymore about 2G coverage because we are able to realize both voice and data through the 4G. So we are targeting in the midterm. That means in the next financial year, we should be doing a study just to see how we, remember we did our last study in 2021, just to see where we are. We target to have reached at least 98.5% population coverage. We have a stretching target for the end of the term to cover everyone. Yeah, we don't know whether it will, but it's good to have stretching targets. For DTT, in the midterm, we are targeting 93.5%. But at the end of the strategy period, we'd like to have 95%. Remember, the areas we are targeting now are marginal areas, and even a slight increase really requires a lot of resources. So now we go to the strategy itself. In terms of the strategy, we are saying we are guided by the Act, Section 84.2, that actually specifies the areas we can deal with. The first area is the issue of infrastructure access. The other one is the issue of capacity building. And the other issue is to promote innovation. We also have the imperative in the national policy, section 613 and 614. The Constitution also has got imperative for us to reach vulnerable. And that's why you'll be seeing us also having some projects with the people living with disabilities so that we can have inclusivity. In terms of preparation of the strategy, our strategy is aligned to the government digital transformation agenda. We are all familiar with the superhighway, the target of 100,000 kilometers by the current government, whereby 58,000 will be government and 42,000 will be private sector. So we'll also align this strategy to that. You'll see how we will be contributing as USF. We also engage stakeholders, basically consumers. We engage the operators. MC had recognized some of them. We also engage our development partners. I think we have Charles Juma here from FCDO and others. We also engaged our government who was guiding us, our parent government, and even other agencies that have co-regulation relationship with the authority. We also had lessons learned in the previous cycle. I've just shared our achievement in the previous cycle. The good thing with the USF strategy is guided also by studies. We had a study in 2021 that shows us where we had reached. We also had a study in broadcasting because we are trying to also move to the other sectors. Because the last strategy, you realize we focused on the mobile sector. But this strategy, you realize, is trying also to intervene in the broadcasting sector as well as the postal and courier sector. We also want to recognize the technical assistance that we received, particularly from FCDO, is Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, from the UK government, and who are represented here today by Mr. Charles Juma. So that's just the background of how we developed it. The strategy has got 3 issues. The first issue is the issue of increasing coverage. That's about infrastructure. And within that issue, we've got 3 objectives. So one is focusing on the broadband, the one I've just said. We would like to go to up to 100% by the end of the strategy period. We're also looking at DTT, that is digital terrestrial television, and we would like also to reach 95% at the end of the strategy period. We're also focusing on increasing the capacity of the postal and courier sector to reach unserved and underserved areas. So that's one issue, the issue of infrastructure. Then you also have the issue of digital skills and content, and there we are empowering persons with disabilities. We already have some projects running specifically with the Kenya Institute of the Blind, also with KICD, whatever content we are developing projects. So we need to develop the capacity of the team to be able to run the projects. So just specifically on Objective 1, we have a project on voice, and this phase 2, we have already activated 63 sublocations out of 101. We have phase 3, we have already done 8 out of 68. We also have phase 4 and 5. Phase 4 is under tendering, so we should be able to have a way forward before the end of this financial year. Basically, phase 4, we are thinking it should start maybe in August, and we should actually implement it within a period of 3 years. Then the other element that is coming is we need to identify true gap areas. True gap areas means areas that are not viable at all. Remember, USF is targeting areas that cannot be run efficiently by operators. But we are saying, even within those areas, there are areas we need to identify that cannot be viable at all. And these are the areas that we will do both CAPEX and OPEX. At the moment, our intervention is mainly on CAPEX. But we would like, going forward, to identify areas that will require both CAPEX and OPEX. And this is something we will be considering after we deal with phase 4. So this all objective is talking of 12 billion. Then when we go to the second objective, the one of, still within this objective 1, but now the digital superhighway project. So here we have partnered with the ICTA, ICT Authority. ICT Authority is the organization that determines the needs of government in terms of connectivity. So they're able to prioritize, they're able to identify areas with impact. And it was key for us to work with them so that whatever we intervene has impact in the direction the government is going, and also impact. Remember, government has digitalized most of their services. So it's very important that whatever intervention we make is aligned to what government is doing. And we have the first phase where we are almost 80% complete. We have a second phase where we are leveraging, and that one we are targeting to complete by June 2026. We also partnered with the KONZA, whereby we are trying to establish Center of Excellence and Digital Apps. And this project also we are targeting June 2026. There are also social sectors, means basically whatever we do, there are sectors like education, sectors like health. There are sectors that may need some interventions. But remember, this is about connectivity. So this is the level of connectivity. We had a project with the Department of Judiciary where we completed that project with them. We are able to help them connectivity in 42 courts. We have a study currently whereby, in terms of community networks, we already having this intervention through our licensing framework. At the moment, we've licensed 11 community networks and 5 are operational. And this is an area where we think we may need to have some interventions because we realize they have a role in digital skilling. That's really their main role, so that they can stimulate demand. And they are more of collaborators to the MNOs, collaborators to our tier 2 operators. So that's an area we'll be looking at. And next financial year, we'll be doing a study on this so that we can identify how to intervene in this area. Then we moved there. I was telling you we now want to look at other sectors. And we did a study in the broadcasting. And we identified that there are about 1137 sublocations without television as we speak. 1137 sublocations in the country. And what we have done is we've started with a pilot project where we have targeted some 3 remote sites. And based on that pilot, we'll be able to design country. Remember, this will help us in getting the right model in terms of what subsidy level should we give so that this can be realized. So this is an area that we'll be focusing on in this strategy period in terms of broadcasting. We're also trying to expand to the postal sector, create capacity to reach to underserved areas. These are planning stages, so we are engaging the players in the postal sector so that we can see how we can leverage on this strategy. Then remember, there was the other strategy, which is about digital skills. And here, our focus has been on persons with disability. And currently, we have a project with KIB, where we are developing content for persons with disability. We're also equipping them with some devices. We've already done a mapping of the whole country, where we identified some people whom we will target. We're also working with Carlo. Carlo is Kenya Cultural Research Organization, and basically they have 7 agricultural information centers in the country. So what we have done is we have helped them to digitize the content and also train the farmers so that they're able to access the content. KICD, we are developing a portal with them. And what we have done also in that portal, we made sure that it's adapted to persons with disability. So this is the area we are doing. And what we're also planning is to have this element within all our projects so that whenever you do a project, there should be digital skilling within it. So that's an element that we will be incorporating in projects. We're also looking at partnerships. Remember, what we have realized is for USF to have an impact, we need to have partnership. I've given you the example of partnership with ICTA, partnership with KONZA, partnership with KICD, partnership with all the players that are in the industry. Of course, tools and equipment is part of capacity building, but you'll also realize that there are resource gaps. This strategy is talking of 40 billion, but we can only realize 28 billion. So we have a shortfall of 12 billion. So we'll need strategies also to fill in the gaps. So whatever I showed you, there are still gaps. So when you see a figure there, it doesn't mean that money is available. Whatever figures you've seen before is a dream, a wish list. But now we go to the reality. What can we do? So what can we do? We will now have to look at resource mobilization, prioritize those. So you may have realized some big figures there, but they are not available. Yeah, they need to be made available. That's part of our strategy. So this is just a summary of what I've said, so I'll not go through that. So this indicates the total resource requirement of 40 billion. And then this indicates what we have. So you can see the balance is 12 billion. And that's why we have invited some partners here. I hope you are looking at the strategy so that we can have discussions at the end of this in areas where we can have common interest and realize them. In terms of challenges, there's the issue of fund mobilization. But what we are saying is we are open to partnership and collaboration. Community resistance, this is something we're already addressing even in our current projects by developing, for example, things like boreholes. What we have done also in our projects for solar, we have solar. Like there are projects actually that are totally green. That's what we are doing in most of our projects. And what we do is we have a charging center where we charge up to 10 phones. So you realize it attracts the community to the tower. Actually, we have created cities. I call them cities or towns? Maybe towns. Okay. We have created them just by the tower. You just put the tower there, put the charging station there. And you see there's also lighting, solar light. The place is so well lit. So people come and settle there. And that's what we have done. So really, that also helps in this ownership. Actually, we work with the security agency, but we realize the most effective means is where you involve them. So where we involve the community. Then there's also destruction of ICT, of the infrastructure. This one, it's about security. Sustainability has been a key challenge in we learned a lot in the past strategy. And that's why for the current strategy, even as we partner with others, we are very clear from the word go of the contribution from each party so that we can sustain. We've learned a lot. When you realize even for the mobile, the way we planned our phase 2 and 3, the way we have planned phase 4 now, we made sure the planning is such that all players have an agreement on the sites, because we had a challenge in phase 2 and 3 where we have a site, but some players are not willing to use it, then it doesn't work. So the issue of being clear on the role of everyone in the beginning, we have what we call a contract, technical cooperation agreement. All those things have to be clear so that we ensure sustainability. I think that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer. I had spoken to him to ask if we can do any intervention for now, but we'll save your questions for a bit later. So let's please appreciate Engineer Boruet as he takes a seat. I notice you're also very keen on the slides as well. We'll have a QR code, both a soft and a hard copy as well, for you to interact with the strategy, especially on the call for partnerships. So, sir, Mr. David Mugoni, it's now my absolute pleasure to invite you on stage, DGCA, to give his remarks. Karibu sana.
Good morning, everyone. Before I speak, I think I would like to invite the representative of the British High Commission.
Thank you. Madam Chair, CA Board, Chair USAC, DG, directors present, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charles Juma. I'm the country lead of the UK's Digital Access Program, which we are implementing here, or we have been implementing for the last 6 to 7 years, or 5 to 6. We started in 2018, 2019, around there, and I'm based at the British High Commission in Nairobi. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the chair, both chairs of the board and the USAC for this great milestone. I think previously, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first strategy that USF has had. Previously, I think we had an implementation plan which we found at around 2016 all the way to around 2020 or 2021, when we started engaging with the CA around universal service that directly aligned with our UK government's digital access program, digital inclusion objectives. So I'll speak a bit on UK digital access program because I suspect there could be members in the room who may not have heard this before, and I'll just be brief by saying that this is a global program which is implemented or has been implemented in previously 5 countries. In Africa, we only had 3. That was Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. You can guess why the 3 in Africa. And then out of Africa, we had Brazil and Indonesia. But after 5 years of a successful implementation, the UK government has decided to amplify some of the successful models of the program to other parts of Africa or other parts of the world. And we have been encouraged to amplify within our respective regions. So for example, in my region of around Kenya, we are amplifying some of our successful models from Kenya to Uganda. We've already started a project there. And the project generally aims to, not the Uganda project, but digital access program overall, aims to catalyze what we consider as affordable, inclusive, safe, and secure digital access for everyone But we pay a particular special attention to women, persons with disabilities, senior citizens, and recently from the Gen Z protests, the young people who are underemployed or unemployed. So in Kenya specifically, we have done a lot of work, and we thank CA specifically on behalf of the ministry. I think most of our achievements have been achieved in collaboration with the Communications Authority, specifically working with two departments, the Department of Frequency Spectrum Management, in the leadership of the former director, but currently also in the leadership of the current director, Haji, and the USF department under the previous director, Kemei, and we are starting conversation with the current director. So without listing a lot, maybe relevant for this strategy, I would mention that the gap study that has been reported of 2021 was in our collaborations with CA. And then we also conducted a USF use cases, like what is the impact of the use of USF, which therefore, based on the two studies, the gap study and the user impact study, that informed the development of the strategy, which we were honored and privileged to contribute to that development, and we are very happy and delighted that finally the strategy is being launched. But then overall in Kenya, we try to address barriers around last mile connectivity, digital illiteracy, lack of relevant content, as well as online harms and threats that keep most of our members away from the digital spaces by showcasing cybersecurity awareness as well as cyber hygiene practices. So in total, with respect to the population that we have reached with digital inclusion models in Kenya, as we speak, we have reached over 11.5 million citizens in Kenya who have actually been reached with at least one digital inclusion model. That could be around last mile connectivity. I think you've heard of the community networks. That is one of the last mile connectivity models that we support, as well as other sustainable last mile connectivity, digital literacy skilling at scale, access to local relevant digital content, that also includes digital government services. So we've reached 11 million citizens with at least one model, digital inclusion model, but more tangibly, we have imparted the skills of, as we speak, as end of our financial year, March 2025, we have reached a total of 760 citizens, mwananchi wa kawaida, mama mboga, boda boda, wazee. We have reached over 760 citizens with foundational digital literacy skills, and following the ICT Authority's digital literacy skills curriculum, which has been in draft and is almost at the point of the launch. We have also recently created digital jobs for young people, over 6,500 just in the recent 1 year. So moving forward, we continue our partnerships with the Ministry of ICT and DE and the agencies under the ministry. We just concluded a project that I've just indicated the numbers we have achieved by March 2025. We are continuing to deliver a project so the project we did was in Busia and Mandera because of the food insecurity situation in those two counties. We are also having a project in Garissa, Wajir, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Turkana, which is scaling the same project that was doing foundational skills, basic digital literacy skills, and we are looking at reaching about 5,000 community digital champions in those four counties, and they reach 500,000 citizens in those counties. So we deliver our projects through both global partners as well as local partners. So just to name a few of our global partners, we have the International Telecommunication Union, the Dynamic Spectrum Alliance, the Association for Progressive Communications, the British Council, and the British Standards Institute. And we have recently launched our UK Development Strategy 2024 to 2030, which aims to support 4 key thematic areas. You may find it online if you look for it. The other one is digital inclusion. I think we've had in the strategy issues around women and persons with disability, who are among those who are excluded, also senior citizens. Digital responsibility is around cybersecurity or cybersecurity awareness as well as cyber hygiene. I think we've had this previous speaker mention of digital sustainability. So our sustainability in our strategy looks at going green in the way we are administering digital solutions or digital services. We've recently concluded a study in Kenya that is looking at how can we regulate the ICT sector in a green and smart way. And we will be publishing that study, the findings of the same, very soon. Let me speak to the parts of the strategy that has been presented. It's good to note that from the strategy, USF and CA and all players are targeting to reach 100% broadband coverage, either of the geography or of the population, by 2030. But what was not very well articulated is the concern around lack of usage of those services. I think it should also go to record that these services that we are providing, the usage of the same is below 30%. And that should be worrying all of us. So why should we have 100% coverage of population and geography and the usage is below 30%? It doesn't make economic sense for the business people. It doesn't make sense for government because we have to reach every citizen. It doesn't make sense for development partners because we would like everybody to be reached. Why am I saying that? I think we need concerted efforts to enhance and increase our revenue towards capacity building of the citizens, creating value for the citizens so that they can understand why your coverage is useful to them. And this is a challenge to all of us to understand that if we increase usage, then it will be good for everyone, because private sector will increase service fund. Advisory Council retains its independence and autonomy to be able to provide the necessary advice to CA board that trying to discuss with the ministry and CA as well is to look at some of the recommendations that were made in the sector working group report of 2024 that recommended an entertainment of review and amendment of the KICA Act according to specific sections that would in one way or the other enhance the capacity of the Universal Service Advisory Council, as well as other capacity building initiatives around the Universal Service Fund Advisory Council. This would include supporting the council to develop a resource mobilization strategy. As we have heard, there is a 12 billion deficit of this plan. And without transparency and confidence in the Universal Service Fund Advisory Council, in the proper utilization of the funding, it's going to be a difficult task to convince the sector players to contribute to the deficit, which we can realize that it's already in its third year, which is this year, 2025, that already a deficit has already been reflected in the strategy, and therefore year 4 and 5 definitely are going to operate under deficit. And for that reason, if we have to come in as development partners to support the resource mobilization, then we really expect that there's a transparency around the allocation and the utilization of the fund, because we need many players to contribute to the kitty so that we can be able to meet the targets of the strategy by the year 2027. With those so many words, again, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate CA, the board, especially the council, the DG, the staff at CA for the good work, and we want to promise our continued collaboration with the organization. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana, Bwana Charles Juma, Country Leader and Advisor, Digital Access Program at the British High Commission. Let's appreciate him, please, together with the entire team present. Bwana DG, thank you for the courtesy you've shown your partners, well guided. I'm told you're also live on our social media platform, so I know we have many stakeholders who will be keen to partner with you on this and a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, after I invite the DG, he'll be able to invite the chair, and also now Chair Advisory Council will also be able to invite the chair CA. At this point in time, please give a round of applause to Mr. David Mugonyi as he comes on stage.
Good morning, everyone, once again. Our chairperson, Madam Mary Mungai, the chairperson of USAC, James Ongwae, CA Board of Directors, Universal Service Fund Advisory Council members, Charles, the representative of the UK High Commission, our partners in the ICT sector, and my colleagues from government and private sector, distinguished guests, good morning. I'm happy to invite you here today for this launch of the strategy. My colleague, Engineer Borwet, has provided an overview of this forward-looking strategy, and I don't need to belabor the point. I just want to say the following. The transformative promise of the ICT in Kenya is well proven by penetration of connectivity, contribution to our economy through businesses and jobs, and its impact on almost every facet of our social life, from education, agriculture, to health. But there is another side to the ICT story, one of disparities and inequalities. A digital divide between those who can access and participate in the digital transformation and those who cannot. Computer usage nationally per household stands at about 10%, while internet usage nationally is at 23%. These numbers need to change, and that demands intent, investment, and strategy. We are here today to declare our intention, to reiterate our commitment to expanding access and democratizing the transformative power of ICT and ensuring that every Kenyan has access to life-changing connectivity. We are here to ensure the promise and power of ICT reaches the farthest ends of our nation. This is the core mission of the Universal Service Fund. Digital access is a key enabler of socio-economic development, but unless we prioritize inclusivity and maximizing reach, the promise of ICT will elude us. The transformative power of ICT is at its most potent when it leaves no one behind, when everyone in the society can access it and use it to grow. It's not enough to connect big towns and big businesses. The goal is to connect every town, every business, and every household. The story of Kenya's digital journey is defined by bold ambition, innovation, and the unwavering belief that every Kenyan, regardless of location, gender, age, ability, deserves digital access. The USF personifies this belief. Digital inequality hinders progress and threatens our digital future. We must tear down barriers and build bridges of connectivity and opportunity for all Kenyans. The Universal Service Fund is the bridge that provides a lifeline for the unconnected and underconnected, the bridge between promise and reality. The USF exists to ensure all Kenyans have access to quality communication services. USF projects are informed by scientific studies that provide a detailed picture on the state of access to communications across the country. USF projects implemented over the last 7 years have revealed the transformative impact of ICTs on people and communities. Today, 800,000 people spread across 179 sublocations in 24 counties enjoy mobile connectivity courtesy of USF. This impact is not in big towns, but in remote and often hard to reach areas like Kora sublocation in Kajiado County, where small townships are mushrooming as a result of mobile connectivity in the area, or Siu sublocation in Pate Island in Lamu, which is now connected to the information superhighway, or El Hadi sublocation in Marsabit County, where citizens now can easily interact with security agencies during medical and security emergencies. To connect the next generation and make learning relatable and enjoyable, we have connected public secondary schools to high-speed internet, integrating ICTs in schools. At General Mulinga High School in Machakos County, USF's intervention sparked a massive interest in computer studies and the achievement of consistently high KCSE grades in the subject for 5 years running. The USF has also transformed 56 public libraries into vibrant e-resource centers with tailored support for visually impaired. These are not just numbers, they are the stories of real-life impact, empowerment, and progress. To expand the impact of USF, we chose to expand its focus to include facilitating the digitization of critical public services in crucial sectors such as education, agriculture, and the justice system. This expansion unlocked incredible impact across many vital sectors of our economy. The sum total of these projects is hope, empowerment, and tangible progress in the lives of individuals and communities. Expanding access to undeserved and unserved Kenyans makes the fund an integral part of Kenya's digital story. This is the Kenya that has inspired the USF Strategy 2327, which is a bold blueprint to reach even further to touch lives of those still excluded from the digital revolution. This new strategy reflects our collective ambition to leverage innovation, partnerships, and regulatory foresight to extend communication services to the farthest corners of our nation. This strategy also deepens our commitment to transparency, accountability, and measurable impact. We are enhancing stakeholder engagement, embracing data-driven decision-making, and building a results-oriented implementation framework. We cannot do this crucial work alone. We invite the private sector and other public sector institutions and even NGOs to the cause of expanding access. We must pool our resources, share insights, and combine efforts to deliver maximum impact where it matters most. To the people of Kenya, we reaffirm our promise to serve our interests, to champion digital equity, and to build an inclusive digital future for all. I wish to acknowledge the UK government for the technical support in undertaking the 2021 Access Gap Study, which is fundamental to the development of this strategy. I also wish to thank the Ministry of Information, Communication, and Digital Economy and partner government agencies, our esteemed licensees, and all stakeholders for their support and input during development of this strategy. Universal access is about dignity, empowerment, and ensuring the membership of every Kenyan to our digital progress and all its benefits. Let us transform vision into reality. Let us make digital inclusion the legacy of our generation. Thank you very much, and at this juncture, I would like to invite the USAC Chair to address us.
Thank you very much, DG, for those nice words. Madam Mary Mungai, the chairperson of the Board of Directors of the Communications Authority. David Mugonyi, the Director General of the Communications Authority. Charles Juma, the representative of the British High Commission. The captains of industry represented here by the CEO of Airtel. There is a representative, I think, from Safaricom. I met him here. The CEO of KBC, the representative of the ICT ministry and all the others who are here, the partners in the ICT sector, the board members here present for CA, and the council members for the council members for USAC, the officers of CA and USF, the members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For me, it's a privilege and a great honor to stand before you today as we mark the official launch of the Universal Service Fund Strategy 2023-2027. This strategy is not only a roadmap, it's a national call to action, a commitment to ensure digital access for all, and to do so inclusively, sustainably, and with measurable impact. As Juma, when you are here, you said that when you started supporting digital inclusivity, at that time you are dealing with an operational manual. But in our discussions with the board, and our good lady, the chair of the board, there was a feeling that we must develop a clear strategy, a clear roadmap, not only for ensuring digital inclusivity in this country, but also to be in line with our government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda better. As you know, the government initiative focuses on driving economic growth and inclusive development through targeted investments. And there are 5 pillars, only 5. And the 5th pillar is on the digital superhighway and creative economy. And that's where we come in. And with this strategy now, we should be able to ensure that those imperatives are actually met. So I'm on behalf of the council and with the support of the board, I'm immensely happy that we've undertaken this journey together and that we are getting into the future with a clear strategy on how to achieve the digital imperative of inclusivity for every Kenyan, whether it's voice, whether it's data, so that we can all work together. This strategy is a product of extensive consultations, rigorous analysis, and thoughtful alignment with our country's legal and policy frameworks, most notably the Kenya Constitution and flagship development agendas, like the vision I've just talked about. And we also drew critical insights from the access gap studies. And I think, Charles, you people were involved in developing of access gap studies, which actually indicated that a fairly big proportion of this country was not able to access voice or data. And yet, they must, as Kenyans, just like you all do, most of the time now you look at everybody, they are looking at their phone. Imagine your brothers and sisters out there who don't even know that actually exists, who can't even read and be able to see what happens in this country and even in other countries. So the access gap studies across the broadcasting, postal, and telecommunication subsectors was really helpful, and for this we thank the sponsors, especially the UK Digital Access Program, DAP. The result is a bold, data-driven, and people-centered strategy that focuses on 3 key result areas. The first one is accessing the ICT infrastructure and services, which was mentioned here, and please allow me to repeat it. That is delivering broadband, broadcasting, and postal connectivity. And in this, and the board is aware that there should be a lot of work to be done, especially on broadcasting and postal and courier services, there is a lot of work that is underway and is properly covered in this strategy. Developing digital skills and local content, and also the whole issue of institutional capacity, whether it is strengthening governance, resourcing, and project management within the fund. This is very important, especially looking at the amounts of money that were actually mentioned here. Therefore, as a council and in support of the board, we must ensure, and these are matters that we've discussed with the board, that every investment, whether in a mobile tower, a school broadband link, or a digital village hub, must change lives, not just tick boxes. And that we must also build partnerships with licensees, development partners, counties, and communities, because delivering universal access is not a solitary mission, it requires a whole society approach. And licensees, Safaricom is here, they are a licensee, Airtel are here, we are getting the bulk of our resources from them through levy and so on. So issues of ensuring that we align ourselves with the PFM Act and ISO 9001 standards, these are issues, again, that the board has approved, and we are working very, very closely with them. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, we will intentionally promote inclusivity as part of this broad agenda of the board and council, ensuring that women, youth, persons with disabilities, and marginalized communities are not afterthoughts, but are at the very center of our interventions. In the broader sense of vision for impact, let us reimagine the digital landscape. A girl in Marsabit accessing digital education content online for the first time. Just imagine it. A small-scale trader in Vihiga accessing a new markets via mobile broadband. Just imagine that. And I do remember when we grew up, my mom would take bananas to the local market. Do you know where I come from, Kisii? There are very many bananas. And the next community who are buying bananas from the Kisiis would wait up to 6 o'clock in the evening. They don't buy the bananas. Imagine carrying a banana. So they wait up to 6 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock is when they start negotiations. At that time, the mama is thinking about carrying the banana back home. So what are we saying here? We are saying a situation where the buyer actually has the advantage. But this small-scale trader now can access buyers from afar. Or like our DG said, a digital hub in Wajir offering coding classes and agricultural e-services is what the strategy is saying. Or a postal hub in Kuria West enabling rural e-commerce, because basically that is where postal services is going into, e-commerce. So these should no longer be dreams, and this is what the board of CA is talking about. This is what the supporting council of CA is also talking about, that with resolve, innovation, and integrity, these are our deliverables. As I close, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to thank all those who contributed to this strategy, the Ministry of Information, Communication, and Digital Economy for industry leadership, the CA board who approved this strategy and even approved its development, the council and the management for the broad thinking on what should constitute this strategy. Our partners in government and the private sector, and in particular the generosity of the British people through the UK DAP, who financed the development of the document, working very closely with us, and above all the Kenyan people whose aspirations shape our every move through the Better program. I would want to say this. Charles, you talked about, because in a strategy, you're developing a futuristic document, and you are saying in the next 5 years, this is what I'm going to do. And in that document, you are also planning, you are looking at the resources that should be availed. I would want you to be slightly more positive as you recommend to the British people the support that we need, and as you also talk to your colleagues in industry, because the gap of about 11 or 12 billion is a very big gap. Over this period, our government itself has very many other competing areas. So the whole area of resource mobilization strategy is an area where we need your support, because there are very many organizations in this world that support digital inclusivity, and we would want to touch all of them so that they support us here in Kenya for us to achieve our broad imperatives in ensuring that our people are able to be together with other peoples in this world, in this earth that we live in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that a strategy is supposed to be ambitious. Ours is ambitious, but so are dreams of the millions that we also serve. Let us work together with purpose and courage to open a new chapter in Kenya's digital future where no one is left behind. Let us open the world digitally for every Kenyan. I sincerely thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And it's now my distinct honor and pleasure to invite our good chair to come and talk to us, Madam Mary Mungai. Can we please clap for our good chair? Thank you very much.
God is good, and all the time. Wow, thank you. I think I want to be selfish a bit. I want to introduce my board members. Can you stand up? Those who are inside the room. You know, you cannot deliver alone. You have to have a team. I have Dr. Musangi. I have Director Rono, Christina, Director Mureithi, and Director Nyambane. Thank you for coming. Have a seat. I want to recognize our representative from UK, Juma, Mr. Juma, my board members, my CEO, the chair of USAC, and I think I also want to introduce the board member, the council member for USAC. Can you stand up? Wow, I don't know them by names. I just know two. Maybe you can introduce your board members.
Thank you very much. Pasimei, Patrick, Amolo, Francis, Elizabeth, and Madam Koech. Thank you very much. Where is the other lady? Rob. There's Joy. There's another one, Joy. She's walked out. Thank you very much. And thanks for allowing me. I forgot to introduce them. Thank you.
Okay, captains in the industry, collegians from the government regulatory bodies, my staff from CA, maybe you can all stand up. The staff from CA, where are you? Wow, thank you for coming. Representatives of the government, representatives from the civil society, the private sector, thank you for coming. Partners in ICT, the fourth estate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. It gives me great pleasure to join you today for the official launch of this Universal Service Fund strategy, a pivot moment in our nation's digital transformation journey. Access to communication and digital services is not just a necessity, it is a fundamental right that empowers citizens and drives sustainable development. The USF represents our collective commitment to ensure that no Kenyan, regardless of location, income, age, or ability, is left behind in the digital revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Kwanza government bottom-up economic transformation agenda through the digital and creative economy pillar continues to make a profound impact on the lives of Kenyans across the country. The Digital Superhighway initiatives, with its robust plan to deploy 100,000 kilometers of fiber, 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, and 1450 ICT hubs. Dimonde, please. ICT hubs aims to provide universal broadband access while fostering digital skills and job creation. With data as the new oil, connectivity as the new infrastructure, and digital literacy as the new currency of the 21st century, the mission of the Digital Superhighway is to invest boldly, act decisively, and innovate inclusively. It's a vision of a fully connected nation from Nairobi to Turkana, Mandera to Lamu. It's about inclusion, affordability, and security, empowering our youth to code, our farmers to access markets, and our entrepreneurs to compete globally. The new SF strategy provides a clear roadmap to bridge the digital divide, prioritizing equity, innovation, and resilience. Looking at the significant progress realized since the operation of the Universal Service Fund 10 years ago, I commend the Communication Authority and our ICT licensees for their steadfast commitment in the deployment of ICT infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, through the National ICT Master Plan, the government is on an ambitious mission to put Kenya on the next frontier of digital connectivity by connecting schools, hospitals, government offices, and business to high-speed internet, ensuring seamless service delivery. At the same time, we are investing in digital skill, equipping our youth, who are our greatest asset, with the tools to thrive in the digital world and support Kenyans' quest to be a leader in the ICT landscape. I'm sure when we do this, the non-sayers there who are making noise will keep quiet. In a few, they just give us few times, a few months, a few years, and we deliver, isn't it? Yes. Despite achieving 98% 3G and 4G coverage, many Kenyans still lack access to mobile, broadcasting, and postal services, affordability. Digital literacy and the relevance of digital services persist as barriers, particularly for women, persons with disabilities, and marginalized communities. We must address these gaps to ensure the full participation in the digital economy by committing to digital skilling. The rapid pace of technology change demands that our policies and digital platforms are designed with inclusivity at their core, ensuring equitable access and participation for all. Ladies and gentlemen, with increased connectivity comes the urgent need to protect our citizens in the digital space, rising cyber threats, and the adoption of energy technologies such as artificial intelligence, requiring global safeguards to maintain public trust and ensure safety. Our national AI strategy and ongoing investment in digital resilience reflect our commitment to responsible, secure, and ethical innovation. At the same time, while we celebrate the expansion of fiber, Wi-Fi, hotspots, and ICT hubs, we must address last-mile connectivity infrastructure, maintenance, and access to growing capital for startups. The sustainability of our digital infrastructure and the vibrancy of our innovation ecosystem are critical to maintaining Kenya's positions in Africa's Silicon Savannah. Distinguished guests, the challenges we face are complex and multifaceted. The government alone cannot achieve the vision of a connected, inclusive, and empowered Kenya. We need private sector, academia, and civil society as partners. Together, we must foster policies that safeguard our interests while driving progress. We remain open to programmatic engagements, strategies for growing our city sector, and most importantly, to ensure our citizens do not become more spectators, but active participants in this dynamic digital economy. In conclusion, Let me once again commend all those involved in the development of this strategy. It is visionary, timely, and aligned with our national development goals and the better philosophy. As we launch the 2023-2027 USF strategy, let us move forward with resolve and purpose, confident that by addressing these emerging issues, digital divide, affordability, digital literacy, inclusivity, cybersecurity, and sustainability, we will realize our more connected, equitable, and prosperous Kenya. With those remarks, it's now my great honor to declare the 2027 Universal Service Fund strategy officially launched. Thank you for your attention. I now request that the CEO of Citizen was here, of Airtel, and the representative of Safaricom, and DG, Juma, and the chair of USF. You can come here. We get a photo with the, where are the books?
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Please let's give a round of applause to Madam Chair as we do the photo. We'll have the video on cue for now. Just hold. We'll have the video on cue and the pyros on cue as well. We'll have that photo requested by Madam Chair first. Thank you very much. Madam Chair, I'll kindly ask you to please remain on stage. Let me call back on stage Director General CA. Let me call back on stage. Madam Chair, Yusak, please welcome back. And Juma, with your booklets as well. If you could just please come up. But before we do that, maybe you can just stand on either side of the screen because there's something we just want to display. Can I help you with the podium as well? Let's take it down. So maybe let's have the video for our audience to appreciate exactly how far we've come. And please get a vantage view of the screens in front of you. Thank you.
In today's world, technology is the great equalizer. But for too long, millions of Kenyans quality infrastructure, funding gaps, and skepticism are real hurdles. But through partnerships with government, private sector, and communities, we're transforming these challenges into opportunities. From classrooms to courtrooms, farms to hospitals, the Universal Service Fund isn't just connecting Kenya, it's empowering a nation. Because in the digital age, access for all isn't a slogan, it's a promise.
We also have a vantage view of the front, members of the Fourth Estate. I'm not going to ask the team that is on stage to now make a simple file because we're going to take one photo. That's the first picture we'll be taking. Madam Chair, if you could just please all. Madam Fiona, if you could please just come on stage as well.
In today's world, technology is the great equalizer. But for too long, millions of Kenyans in rural and marginalized communities have been left in the dark. The Communications Authority of Kenya is changing that through the Universal Service Fund. Since 2017, the Universal Service Fund has bridged the digital divide, bringing connectivity to areas once deemed unviable by ICT operators. By 2021, 96.4% of Kenyans had mobile coverage, but 3.6%.
On behalf of industry, I would like to thank the CA for finally launching this strategy. I've been following up with DG for so long, waiting for it to come public, because it's only when the document is public that now we have a basis on which to put the regulator and the advisory council to task on what we need to do and how we need to move, and the expectations that the public is going to have from service providers. I know that my members have been contributing, other than Airtel and Safaricom, just spoke as 160 members. And of this, a large percentage, 90% of them contribute to the Universal Service Fund, or are supposed to. And so we are working with the CA staff, the enforcement team, to ensure that they meet their compliance obligations and are able to then honor their obligations to contribute. But we are happy that the CA has been able to also bring in a partner to help us with this journey. And we do appreciate the support of the British government in enabling us to move forward. I think for us as industry, we are excited with the launch, and we are looking forward to seeing how the projects are going to be implemented. As usual, the challenge is in the nitty-gritties of getting them implemented. We will do our best to get them implemented in the right manner and within the right time frame. Madam has set a very tight time frame of seeing results in a year. We hope that we will be able to meet that, and we will collaborate, sharing infrastructure and applying all the principles that we have had within the regulatory framework to make this happen. And with that, I think I just say congratulations to the CA. And for those who do not know me, my names are Dr. Fiona Songa, Chief Executive Officer of the Technology Service Providers Association of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Fiona. And with your permission, I'll kindly request you please join the picture on stage. We'll take this the first two pictures, then we'll move to the media wall, just for the interest of our friends as well from Fourth Estate. So please, in 3, 2, 1, ladies and gentlemen, our strategy is officially launched. So please give a round of applause as well to everyone who took part and ensured that this was made possible. Thank you so much. Let's please clap for them again one more time. Thank you so much for the great input. We really appreciate you. As we are still on stage, just for the final picture, allow me to call the CA board members present to please join us on stage. The CA board members present. If I could have the team just come right in front. Let me have the CA board members present, and let me have the USAC board members on standby, please. Yes, more booklets coming up, sir.
heart that beats you gently. No, I hide up in my space. God bless me with grace. Come and cover my face. No rush, no need to chase. Peace of mind, not ego. No stress, we gon' take control.
It's a celebration, don't you worry. I know you're all wondering. Okay, now in 3, 2, 1, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause, please, and a clap to see as well the team. Let me have USAC board members as well join the team on stage. We're just trying to make do with the space we have here. USAC board members, please welcome on stage. Kindly get a booklet as well as you come up. Kindly get a booklet as well as you come up. Do I have the CEOs present? KBC, Airtel. Okay.
Peace of mind, not ego. No stress, we gon' take control. Soft life, where they make me go.
Thank you. Kindly display your booklets. Kindly display your booklets for the benefit of our good friends. Perfect. Thank you so much. As we're doing that, allow me to have Mr. Paul Murithi. Mr. Paul Murithi to kindly join us for a vote of thanks because shortly, thank you so much. Let's give a final round of applause. As Mr. Paul Murithi is speaking and as the team is getting settled, to members of the press, we'll be having a media brief on my left, right at the end. We'll have a media brief on my left, yes, and photos as well on my left to the far right. If you could just please be setting up so that we just move really quick. You can just use the room just next to this main side, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, and now to please give an opportunity to Mr. Paul Murithi as well, the board director from Communications Authority, for a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. The chair, chairperson CA, the chair USAC, our invited guests, good morning. Mine is very short. I just want to thank you for coming. And first, I would like to appreciate all the stakeholders for attending this function. We say thank you very much. I also wish to invite more collaboration to advance USF agenda. And more so, I would like to note the attendance and the participation of the British High Commission with Mr. Juma. Thank you very much. I also want to thank the chair of the CEA board and the board members for the job well done. You have steered this institution even to greater heights, and you have seen it. And I think the staff really are well motivated. I also want to thank the chair of USAC, led by Honorable James Ongwae, and the team for the advisory. It is very welcome. I want to thank the service provider, and more so this hotel, Kempinski, for very well prepared function and a very good breakfast, which I believe everybody has enjoyed. And last but not least, our staff members of CA, led by our able DG, Mr. David Mugonyi, for that togetherness and what they have been doing. We, as the board, we cannot take it for granted. We can see how hard you're working, and through the chair, I think we are doing very, very well. But there is always room for, and I believe that is what we're going to do. With those very, very few remarks, thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Paul Murithi. Thank you for your time as well. and to the entire team that made this possible. We want to really appreciate you. As I mentioned, we were live on our social media pages, so those who joined us online and virtual as well, I want to say thank you. My name is Laban Cliff. I've been your host. So at this point in time, allow me now to kindly ask you to please enjoy more breakfast as well. Keep warm. It's been quite cold in Nairobi, as I also have a consultation as well with the Bonadigi and the chairs with the media houses present. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. God bless you.
In today's world, technology is the great equalizer. But for too long, millions of Kenyans in rural and marginalized communities have been left in the dark. The Communications Authority of Kenya is changing that through the Universal Service Fund. Since 2017, the Universal Service Fund has bridged the digital divide, bringing connectivity to areas once deemed unviable by ICT operators. By 2021, 96.4% of Kenyans had mobile coverage, but 3.6%, mostly in remote regions, remained unconnected. In just 7 years, the USF has transformed lives. 800,000 Kenyans connected across 156 sublocations in 24 counties. 886 public secondary powered by high-speed internet across 47 counties. 56 libraries turned into e-resource hubs, and 42 courts digitized to enhance access to justice. Now, the USF is accelerating Kenya's digital superhighway. 2,500 kilometers of fiber optic cable will light up 19 underserved counties from Turkana to Lamu, Kwale to Mandera. Because every Kenyan deserves a seat at the digital table. The USF is also targeting last-mile fiber connectivity to 3,800 public offices and institutions, making service delivery to the public a seamless experience. The 2023-2027 strategy is bold. 40 billion shillings invested to ensure no one is left offline. Deploying mobile and fiber infrastructure, 1,450 digital hubs and 47 centers of excellence, e-health, e-justice and e-learning platforms, local content and digital literacy programs. This is how we turn access into opportunity. The road isn't easy. Vandalism of ICT infrastructure, funding gaps and skepticism are real hurdles. But through partnerships with government, private sector and communities, we're transforming these challenges into opportunities. From classrooms to courtrooms, farms to hospitals, the Universal Service Fund isn't just connecting Kenya, it's empowering a nation. Because in the digital age, access for all isn't a slogan, it's a promise.